Excuse me. Hello everyone, my name is Unreal Khan, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4 in a new series. We are back in semi-vanilla HOI4. We're not playing the Fire Rises, nor are we playing Kaiserreich or any other mod. We are playing a unique mod that crosses over with the Star Wars franchise. And it is called Star Wars Executor. I'm sure many of you watching this video are familiar with this mod, but for the other half, I will explain what this is right now. So basically, Star Wars Executor was a mod created during the early years of HOI4, and it circulates the story of what if the Galactic Empire, during the original trilogy, crash lands on Earth. 1936. There's no special mechanics for either country. It's literally vanilla, but with a new country that is us, the Galactic Empire. Now, what happens is, there is, you know that huge, really long ship that Darth Vader personally commands? It's that long, dark ship that's huge compared to the Imperial Star Destroyer. That's called the Executor. And the Executor, as we all know, ends up crashing into the second Death Star during Return of the Jedi. Here, it underwent a malfunction during its testing, during its test flight, in which its entire command structure, its entire commanding staff veered off course during the test flight and crash lands on Earth in the middle of the Middle East, specifically Kuwait. You see, the capital is damaged ship. That is the Executor. Of course, there's no model for the Executor, because the mod doesn't come with it. Now, the mod itself stopped updating right before, I believe it was No Step Back, which was the DLC for the Soviet Union. Because of that, there was no way to continue that game. There was no way to continue using that mod without going back several versions. You know what I mean? Long story short, there was a Redux mod that opened up shortly afterward, but that too stopped production about 2 years ago, because the modding team behind that went overboard from the original message of the original mod. I'll explain what that is in a bit, but the main thing you have to know is that this is a new mod which takes the original Executor mod and uplifts it to keep up with the updates of, or the current updates of HOI4, of the game. So, yeah, that's basically it. You keep the core mechanics and core focuses of the game, of the original mod, while sticking with the new DLCs of the Middle East, South America, Japan and China, and all those other nations. Speaking of DLCs, I haven't gotten the new DLC for Australia and the Dutch East Indies yet, but I probably plan to do so eventually. I just have to study and get used to the field commander's mechanics. I'm sure you know what I mean. Anyway, as I said, this is a mod. This mod takes the original and uplifts it to meet with the current standards of the game. So, We have the same focuses as last time. The modder behind this allowed some small changes to make it more interesting, including a small expansion of the focus tree over here. I'll go over that in a moment, but first, let's go through the first focus. Deploy the stormtroopers. We've become stranded, our ship being disabled, and near destroyed in a seemingly endless desert. With no knowledge of our surroundings, we must deploy our stormtrooper regiments immediately and assess our situation to find out if this planet is hostile. That takes 7 days. Now let's go for the introduction. The Executor was barely off the Kuwait slipways when we took her out, her hull crowded with high officers of the Imperial Army and Navy for what was meant to be a grand tour. The jump to Fondor should have lasted hours. Instead, the ship was wrenched from hyperspace into the gravity well of an unknown world and dragged towards its surface. Only the skill of the command crew, routing the failing engines across open desert, spared us a watery grave. Now, in this image, we have two iconic characters from the original trilogy, as well as all of Star Wars. We have... I just realized I have the Sabaton music on. Let me turn that off to avoid copyright. Anyway, we have the option of either choosing Darth Vader, who actually is the current leader right now, or we can go with Grand Moff Tarkin, or Wilhuff Tarkin. What's the difference between the two? Well, Darth Vader has Headstrong, which gains 50% political power. Tarkin puts lower cost on conscription, chief cost, political power, and advisor costs. He makes it cheaper to get advisors, change the economy, conscription, staff, etc. I don't know what this is doing here, and this doesn't work. However, I think for the sake of this, we will pick Darth Vader to bring order. Now, why would I pick him? Because when you play as Tarkin and you conquer the Middle East, you establish puppets, whereas with Darth Vader, you conquer them. Okay, so let's read through our modifiers. Ruined Executor. The Executor lies broken in the desert. It's 19,000 meter hull half buried and dark. The flagship of Death Squadron, the most feared ship in the galaxy, is now a silent wreck. Salvage parties pick through the ruin, recovering what irreplaceable systems they can before the sands take the rest. Imperial Military. The Imperial Military is the spine of everything we hold here. Cut off and outnumbered, our troops stand alone as the one force this world cannot match, and the one thing that keeps order in the holdings we have wrung from the desert. So long as the garrison stand, the Empire stands. Stranded. Cut off from the Empire with no hope of resupply, marooned in the deserts of a primitive world, morale is fracturing and the Executor lies in ruin. Whether the Emperor's apprentice or the author of Imperial Doctrine, one of them must see our men through these years, surrounded on every side. No industry. Now, because this borrows exactly from the original mod, it doesn't exactly make it like local news or world news, so it's stuck with world news for local events. So we have Imperial power. With Lord Vader taking the helm of the Executor, the subjugation of this world is no longer a question. Let the men feel the weight of it. They know the atrocities they will commit in his name, the assaults that will thin their ranks, and the cold truth that may never see him home again. Let's hope we survive this. Disclaimer, I do not support any radical ideologies depicted in this video. This video is meant for entertainment purposes, and should be treated as such. Anything I say that sounds like it is not for entertainment purposes actually is meant for entertainment purposes, and again should be treated as such. In no way, shape, or form do I actually mean what I say within the the video. Again, this video is meant for entertainment purposes as well as educational purposes. And yeah, I wouldn't obviously want to, like, support war crimes on purpose. Because that's bad. Also, Star Wars belongs to Lucasfilm and, by extension, Disney. Okay. So with that disclaimer out of the way, we just finished our first focus. And now we have 4 additional stormtrooper regiments, including the 501st Legion. Here's a template of the stormtrooper regiment. You only have 2x2, or I don't know how to say that stuff, I know. But apparently these guys are buffed like crazy. Even with
right away, sir.
Stuff like this and this, they can demolish most current armies in the Middle East by a lot. So let's get to it. Survey surroundings. Our troops are reorganized and recovered from the crash. Our wounded triaged, our lives reformed. We may now press forward, outward, and survey the ground around us, learning swiftly what the manner of the world has swallowed the Executor. Let's investigate the signal. We detect a signal coming from the north, most likely from a city or a mining colony. Due to the frequency of chatter we pick up from them, we should begin investigating so that we determine the people inhabiting this planet. Our desert troopers are recovered from their survey with a troubling find. The ground where the Executor Kingdom is rigged with buildings. Its main ones have been a city. There is no telling how the survivors will react to the ruin we have brought, so we must act. We could spare them and feed them a lie that a neighboring nation shot us down, turning their anger elsewhere. Or we could execute the survivors, bury all trace of our landing, and strip the air's resources without restraint. Well, this is the Galactic Empire we're talking about, so we will maintain secrecy. Get some water. I should probably let you guys know what the research tree looks like. So this is all from the original Executor mod. Basically, instead of the tech going horizontal, it's now vertical. With the oldest on top and the youngest on the bottom. We keep the tech for the naval tree, not with the air tree, but the tech and industry remain the same. Okay. Signal traces to a piece of radar gear torn loose when we crashed, lying a few miles west of a local town. Recovering it openly would be near impossible without exposing ourselves. The town holds factories we could turn to rebuilding the ship, but seizing them risks war with the nation that protects it. We can instead retrieve the component by night at the cost of slowing our reconstruction. Stealth protocol, we get a radar station. Now let's go reconstruction effort. We dare not remain exposed on a hostile world without a fortified base to fall back upon. We'll set our reconstruction teams to work with what function droids remain, hardening our foothold before the natives grasp how vulnerable the crash has left us. Remove Great Depression, general announcement. Well, here's the thing. I won't go into spoilers, but there is something that will occur in which we will receive a heavy attack and defense demodifier. This will occur around September 4th. My aim is to try and conquer the Middle East before that happens. Now, by conquering the Middle East, what I specifically mean are Iraq and Saudi Arabia. Yes, even with the new DLC, you can still defeat, or should I say, liberate Iraq. So there's nothing bad with that. Now you're probably wondering, okay. We can set our droids to scavenge records for salvageable components, recycling the material into more droids and quickly in reconstruction in the long run. Or we can divert that salvage into weapons instead and make do with the droids we already have. We don't have factories yet, so it's not like we can get anything more done with more droids. We can do that long term, but if we're going to conquer the Middle East, we need more weapons. Now let's get into Sith might. Lord Vader has the ability to use the Force to his advantage. Perhaps a combination of intimidation and a display of his power will show the inhabitants who is in control. Now you're probably wondering what my objectives for this series are, besides conquering the Middle East. That's step one. Step one is to conquer the Middle East, namely Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Iran, and Afghanistan. We can't do it all in one go. We have to take it step by step. But once we get through it, we have new objectives. We can do really whatever we want from here, but the game's story heavily implies that the Galactic Empire is here to conquer the world, or liberate it from reactionary tyranny and establish the prosperity that is from the Galactic Empire, from Coruscant to Naboo, Tatooine, you name it. So here is my objective as of now. Step 1, conquer the Middle East. Step 2, and this depends on how far we go or how much time takes while doing the Middle East. Because sometimes whenever I do it, I end up finishing at about 1939 during the start of World War II. Sometimes it happens while Germany is attacking the Soviet Union. I guess it doesn't really matter at this point, so here's my plan. After the Middle East, we will try to either take on the Soviet Union by joining the Axis and destroying the Soviet Union. We will not join the war with the Allies by then. We will wait. Let's go with the fortress. We'll try to take down the Soviet Union. Either we wait until Operation Barbarossa is launched, so we attack the Soviet Union, or we decide to take on the Allied powers. That means we need to build a navy and destroy the United Kingdom to the point where they capitulate. Now, if the United States were involved, we have to build a larger navy to naval invade all the way over there. Hopefully I don't have to do that. I mean, I guess invading the United States is going to be mandatory anyway, but as of now, here's my plan. As of now, it's Middle East, Step 2, Soviet Union, Step 3, Allies, Step 4, Japan, and then Step 5, Axis powers. And then Step 6, take over the rest of the world, not allied with any other faction. So yeah, that is my overall plan for this series. World domination. This game has been set during historical focuses, so it's going to follow everything up to World War II exactly as in our timeline. Minus the fact that, we're here. Star chart misalignment. Charting your position, navigation officers are wholly at a loss. Our course ran from Kuwait Drive Yards to Fondor. Our best reckoning is that we overshot the hyperspace route and slipped into the unknown regions, yet no star chart we hold comes near to matching the sky above us. Where are we? Great Palestinian Revolt. After years of discontent over British administration and migration to the region since the Great War, the Arab population of Mandatory Palestine has erupted in revolt. Those involved in the revolt are demanding a withdrawal of British forces and full independence for Palestine. Although the British are unlikely to accept such demands, it is clear that administration of the territory will become an increasingly costly endeavor for them. We stand with the rebels. Okay, conquer Iraq. The locals to our northwest will not yield their industry willingly, so we shall take it. The militias and subcolors are no answer to disciplined stormtroopers and walkers. The defiance buys them only a swifter conquest. Let them resist, it changes nothing. So what we're about to do is basically Operation Iraqi Freedom, except it's not Iraqi freedom, it's Iraqi subjugation. Unlike the United States, we're more open in our ambitions. That's a joke. I would never do that. Anyway, here we go. While we do this, turrets to the skies. 3 anti-air, 1 radar station. Okay, now, let's plan this carefully. 501st Legion, you're going to snake around here. Cut off this soldier.
Hold it steady.
We go here, up to Nasiriyah, snake along this river, all the way up to Baghdad on the other side of that river.
Sir.
We don't have an air force as of yet, so
Right
we
away,
don't
sir.
exactly know what's going to happen from here.
Got it.
Now you are going to start attacking this
Let's
unit.
get moving. Sir. Get going. Move out. Let's go. Yes, sir. All right. Got it. Got it.
There goes Iraq. Now, let's set up a front line all the way to Saudi Arabia.
Sir. All right.
This will help build industry or infrastructure as well as gain cores on the region. So let's do that right now. Now, conquer Saudi Arabia. There's a spirit of rebellion in these southern tribes, and rebellion left to fester becomes revolt. We will crush it at the root, occupying their lands outright before the notion of resisting the empire spreads any further among the natives. No doubt that's going to piss off the British and the Americans.
Get going. Yes, sir. Got it.
The nation of Iraq has ceased to exist. A foreign power has begun restructuring its government by force, claiming to belong to some extraterrestrial regime, a claim that the populace meets with open skepticism. After all, these so-called outworlders look entirely human. For all anyone can tell, they are a cult that has seized power in the Middle East. Reconstruction discovery. Picking through the wreckage, our engineers have found troubling inconsistencies. The shield generators were incomplete, and the relativistic generators fitted to every hyperspace-capable vessel were wholly inadequate for a ship of the Executor's mass. We must investigate further before drawing conclusions, for the implications could be grave. This can't be good. We're approaching that date pretty quickly.
Maybe it's another drill. Get going. Sir? Got it.
Let's go all the way to Mecca. No doubt that's gonna piss off some people. But this is the Empire we're talking about, so...
Right away, sir. Right away, sir.
And we got Saudi Arabia. Good job.
Sir?
And we got it right before the start of the potential spoilers. Now we will get cores and more real connections in this area, because that is atrocious. Now, realization. With the shielding so inadequate, our best calculations place us between 13 and 15 million light years from the nearest recognizable galaxy, and even those are distorted, as though we view them from across thousands of years. The conclusion is unfathomable. We will never see our homes again, and were we somehow to return, 1,000 years and more would have passed. Everything we knew is gone. So this is the major spoiler of the entire mod. Basically, you are not in a galaxy far, far away any longer. You are in a new galaxy. Our galaxy. You are on Earth. So, and if it's a galaxy far, far away, well, that's like millions of light years away. So, yeah. So by this point, Emperor Palpatine, Luke Skywalker, they're all dead. The far future of the Star Wars galaxy. Anyway, so we don't have to worry about it. If you do general announcement, this will cause a debuff in the attack and defense. If you hide the truth, this will bring our stability down a bit, but it will also eventually lead into this. So we're going to do the general announcement right now. It is only just that we share what we have learned with every Imperial, for the fate falls on us all alike. We are stranded, every one of us. This will break many, and some men will collapse entirely. Yet this is our reality now. Everything we once knew is gone. We must face this together. Supply connections. The focus will be when Iraq and Saudi Arabia are annexed or puppeted. Saudi Arabia is no more. The Empire expands. The Middle East has an emerging power on its hands. Both Iraq and Saudi Arabia have fallen to a new expansionist government that speaks of establishing order. Only the Turkish government stands in a position to check it. And even then, it is doubtful any nation would intervene and risk another world war. What about imperial attacks on modern nations? The Great Depression. The Great Depression is spread among our ranks, reasonably so. Men sit in base camps not performing their duties, laying in barracks remembering times long gone. Officers give no orders, drinking themselves to death. Even our general staff walk in a haze, inefficiently delegating tasks and overseeing reconstruction. Situation is dire. Well, realistically, it's Turkey, Iran, and potentially the UK and France that could hold us back. It's not just Turkey. Okay, so now we have supply connections across our new territories. So what we're going to do is calm my brain down, make Tommy K happy, and connect these rail lines together. Let's begin improving our industry. Now first, go to Prince of Terror. Non-core manpower, less damage to garrisons. Chinese United Front forms, doesn't matter to us. The aftermath. The hierarchy is crumbling, orders go unheeded, and junior officers, admirals, and generals alike pursue their own designs over those of the senior officers. Something must be done swiftly, or the little territory we hold will be torn apart between them. Something must be done. Also, we have a new ideology, which is Empire Loyalists, or Coruscant Imperialism. The creed of the Galactic Empire and its followers. Order imposed from above, obedience owed below, and no power in this world fit to question either. Phase 2. We have wrung around enough manpower and raw material from the surrounding lands to begin true reconstruction of the Executor. With proper effort underway, sections of the ship sealed off and inaccessible since the crash can at least be reopened and put to use. Place Ruin Executor with the construction site. We'll get more with this. Now, first of all, let's get to reconstructing the ship. It's time we begin to create some more permanent facilities within the ship to allow us to not only salvage weapons and materials from the wreckage, but to make all new weapons and other supplies we require. The crash site shall be made into a bustling construction zone. Add 4 civilian factories, 2 military factories. Yeah, that's crazy. Chief of Army, Cassio Taj. Army organization. So we effectively own them. Turkey won't do a thing. This is what the unit looks like. Prepare the conference room, having a central location with which to meet and allow our highest officials, which also happen to be generals and marshals, to meet in peace aboard the ship, allowing an easier time strategizing while using the ship's systems, game-based stability, and war support. Okay, so with this little expansion trip done, I'll end the episode right here. So thank you for watching. Hope you liked, subscribe, and comment. If you liked it, I don't mind if you don't do it. Otherwise, thank you for watching and hope you have a good day. God bless you. Bye bye.